All right, so we're doing a take two of this. That's super fun. But doing our recap, our usual recap of the headline. So in case you missed it and get a chance to watch it, we're gonna go over everything that you need to know from the headline. And this headline's really good. For those of you guys who just saw all of this for the second time, you're gonna watch it for a third time and deal with it because we gotta have it for YouTube. Okay. Start things off. We're gonna go ahead and play the first few seconds essentially, because they kind of hit us with like just an update video right then, like right off the rip. So pretty cool stuff there. Let's go.
Compiling the planned update content from December to February.
Yeah, this was pretty sick.
Yeah, this is the way to start these.
Uh-huh. Those are so cute. I hope they keep doing that. The cross connections thing is really, really good for the community. Oh, that looks so cool! Yeah. I definitely think they should do those every single headline.
Yeah, I think the only reason they haven't done them is literally because we haven't had a big update like this. I think they're going to do them more
even
often.
if it's just like brief, like even if they just show some like scratch ticket items or like a limited quest or something, I think that's a really nice hype way to start it.
I don't know. I think they should only do those for big updates. I think if we do it for everything else, people are going to start giving that same sort of like thought process again. Like, oh, mid, lame.
Worst headline ever.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, the over expect. You know, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I think it's good to have them for like these updates. Like now that they have these updates happening again, but I think it's like if they do it for every single one of them, people are like, ah, mid, lame. This is stupid. Nothing in it.
One of those things that I would like, but it might ruin the perception for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. So to start things off, we have the Super Genesis Festival that's popping up. Starts on the 10th. Pretty cool there. And if you want to just jump forward to the next slide, the Super Genesis Festival countdown is going to give us an augment transfer pass vouchers every single day. That's a mouthful. We get to 3 daily, so if you need to go ahead and stack those up, we did get a new weapon announced. So in case you're someone who needs to go ahead and transfer weapons, if you're like a one weapon type of person, go ahead and start gathering these every single day. Don't miss out on them. It usually is very easy, like less than 10 minutes of your time to get these. So just get them and stack them up. Very simple.
Literally just log in. Like, that's it.
Usually it's like do whatever the LTQ is, if it's anything.
Yeah. Or like there's some kind of like limited like task with it, but like no, literally just log in.
Yep, very simple. Also 50% off the recycle campaign stuff, so that's really, really nice. Meaning we were able to get a hold of star gems, get a hold of the alpha reactors. I mean, I'm not sure why you would trade in for GP at this point. In case, I mean, maybe people do. Maybe they farm that hard. They need to trade for GP as well. But
I mean, we don't have a lot to spend unless you're using the GP exchange, which even then there's not a lot. Like I have the whole GP shop like bought out, and I'm almost at max again. So
yeah, so I usually.
So if you were to skip anything, I would say that. But if you are hurting for GP, I mean, I guess this is a good time to get it because things are going to be half off.
Yeah. So Super Genesis Festival shows off what we have coming up. You can kind of see like it's got from 11th to the 1st. You have the first part of it, second part of it. You're getting 100 draws for part 1 and 100 draws in part 2 for SG. This is an easy way to stack up tons and tons and tons of SG badges in case you need them. So go ahead and grab those. We also get up to 400 SG. 400 SG along with looks like Mars updaters. If you still haven't maxed out your Mars, get some more Mars updaters. Really easy there.
And it looks like wait, are those the same transfer passes?
No, those are transfer pass vouchers. So more transfer pass vouchers.
Okay, so more of those.
And X cubes as well. We also have free to use Salon free to use Salon during the entire Super Genesis Festival. Woo! Cool. I'm gonna delete another stack of my tickets just for the fun of it. More useful as Meseta. We also
Stop it! You're hurting me.
We also have
But yes, anyone who wants to make any changes that require Salon Pass or SG, it's going to be free during that time. Most of you guys know the drill, but it is actually really, really good if you want to do some major changes to your character.
Yep. Keep in mind, guys, do not make any of these changes outside of this time frame, or think that you're going to be able to do this with color change. Color change passes are different. Does not work.
Color change passes do not count towards this.
We also have a super treasure scratch 2 different times, and in between it there's a super item enhancement support campaign. Crazy, they're doing support enhancement after they announce a new weapon, almost like it's a pattern. How many times am I going to say this for you guys get it? I'll keep saying it every single time.
Chrono.
I'll say it every single
Be nice
time.
to chat.
I explain it every time and no one pays attention. They're like, I didn't realize this was going to happen. I'm like, I keep saying 1,000. I'm going to go blue.
Sometimes we be forgetting. All right.
Okay.
You know how many times they show something and I'm surprised and everyone's like, it was on the roadmap.
There's a pattern. It's not even on the roadmap anymore. They just do it every time. And they kind of gave us a soft roadmap of like what's going to be happening, kind of see what's going on. We see Drill 2 Chili 2 Chase. We see the new Urgent Quest, Starless Op Suppression, or Starless Suppression Op, which they also did announce that a bunch of things. Oh, actually, I guess we're going to get to that slide eventually, right? So we'll get there when we get there. But so Suppression Op, we have Great Saint Rappy coming to Nameless City, which apparently he's going to be dropping money. So we'll have to see how that farm's going to work out.
Yep, reactors.
We also have the new solo quest. It's funny, it's a large enemy cleanup op released on the 15th. And then just new challenges when they show off the actual boss. So interesting there. And Planet Crusher Assault D2, Snowy Field cleanup op also there. And then Ultra PSO2 Day incoming as well. Pretty dope. And they show off a bunch of things at the very bottom. Kind of see that they have rare drop rate bonuses. It looks like the second half, they don't really tell us what those are going to be just yet. So we'll have to see how that stacks up. Super cool stuff. So, oh, also new our Gen Cool, like next step of our Gen Cool. So those are going to be handed out as well. So for those people who don't build their own gear up and just use all the free stuff, you guys will be getting a bit of a power bump. Hopefully the power bump is a reasonable power bump and it's not a terrible one, but I also hope they kind of push BP into a point where people actually have to care about gearing themselves. Because if they don't, they're not going to. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, like the free gear is always going to be a good entryway into that. And I love that they've been giving that to you because like it does suck when you're not able to grind for that end game gear and you're like at that point. If you have some struggles like getting gear. But like, yeah, it definitely should be a bigger step, but shouldn't be end all be all as well.
It's mostly they just have to start blocking people out. I know it's gonna sound mean and people are gonna be upset about it, but like you can't. If you go into any game, when you get to max level and they give you the free piece of gear, it's to get you into the first dungeon, the first quest type, so you can start gearing yourself up or whatever. Usually past that, you can't continue to gear, or you can't just be in that gear moving forward. So
Yeah. I mean, and it's also rewarding to people gearing because like it kind of sucks to feel like you geared and like I mean, for someone like me, I want to have the best gear, but like maybe someone who has a harder time like gearing up, like it sucks to get to that point and feel like, okay, well, I could have just had the free gear and done this and struggled a bit more, but I could have still gotten into this. So it's a bit more rewarding.
The biggest part is that you can't really tailor rewards properly until you have people locked out of stuff. Like the rewards are always going to be really good for people who have no gear, and the people that actually have gear, it's never going to matter. Which is why reward system's been kind of bad in PS2 for the longest time. So that's a topic for another video. Either way, still gonna be good that you guys get a bit of a bump. It's the biggest thing is you guys are getting EX augments now on your weapons, so that's pretty cool. And then they talk more about more Super Genesis Festival stuff, 10-a-day super, 10-a-day scratches, showing off the stamps, a total 200 between part 1 and part 2. Pretty dope there.
The stamps are cute. The stamps are so cute. Like a voice acted version of the comics is a stamp. That's awesome. I hope they keep doing that.
Yeah, the stamps are awesome. They include the voice acting in it as well. So I'm definitely a fan of that. Looks like Slayer Pose is also coming back in the SG item recycle.
Yep.
You're still talking here. Okay, keep going. Next slide. There it is. Rewind Collection, December 24. Hopefully it brings back an outfit that I'm missing, that I'm looking for, but we'll have to see. Looks like a camo from base PSO2, just a set of guns, of course. More guns and camos.
2 guns.
We get them every single time.
Yep. As a waker, I'm totally okay with that.
Here's the slide that we're looking for. So they're also bringing back, basically we have Rock Bear now in NGS by default. So for those who don't know, who didn't play base PSO2, it was a quest type that existed back then that allowed us to test a bunch of stuff or whatever. They're basically, people asked for that from the Mars Training Center. Now they're making it permanent essentially, that people are gonna be able to test their weapons, not only Mars, but their actual weapons themselves by adding in the different elemental weaknesses to enemies and things like that. So you can test all of your, all your damage and everything else you want to go ahead and test out. So pretty cool there.
Yeah.
Super happy to see that. Hopefully they also add in a way for you to test elemental damage off element in certain situations, because that's also going to be important for forces. But yeah, that's like a level of testing that some people might not even care about. So it only matters for specific classes.
Yeah, true.
The big thing on this list, though, is
which is the smallest on the screen.
Right, is the quest counter menu has been reorganized, but they also have added all ship matchmaking support to Urgent Quest, Battle Dia Purple and Yellows, Trigger Quest, Ordinal Tower, Major Suppression missions, which are like the 4-man difficult quests, and time extension quests. I know people are thinking no one does time extension, no one does Ordinal Tower. When those things get updated and they get changed, they need to be included as well. So it's cool that they're adding this in for all shit matchmaking. And maybe it'll be something fun to do, like a random like challenge thing or whatever. So
Also, it's not that no one does it. A lot of these things, especially things that do require multiple people, it is harder with having a game with a bit smaller of a community than like I guess a large MMO to queue for that stuff at any time of the day and have people play it. So making it cross ship is huge, and you'll be surprised the amount of people you see playing this content now that is cross ship.
it's more that there's no reason to do it too.
I
So
mean that too, yeah, but like there's always people interested in running that kind of content. Like I see people talking about it in the lobby sometimes. They're like, it sucks that I can't do this because no one's playing it. And
yep.
you know,
But I digress. Unfortunate. But a lot of things we added to all shit matchmaking is dope. I'm happy for it.
yes, urgent quest,
Primarily
is
urgent
huge.
quests. Urgent quests, major target suppression missions, very, very big. So next slide shows off
Yeah.
the 2 Till 2 Chase stuff. The TLDR here was that this is a remake of a previous LTQ that existed and is coming back again. It's being updated, and they're also giving out just scratch tickets for completion on each one of these. So they mentioned that it's like 75 for the the guaranteed, like you pick your thing that you want out of the support scratch, or the, I can't think of the name of the scratch. It's like Super Long. They have Super Genesis Festival SP scratch, the SP scratch. That's
Yeah,
what I was looking for.
yeah.
Basically, at 75, you can pick what you want from the SP scratch, and they hand out one of these per run. So
Which 75 is kind of high.
75 has always been high for these. They've always had them at 75, but the thing is
Yeah.
it depends on what's between the 1 to 75 that matters most.
Yeah, exactly.
Force class update is also going to be on. This is all on the 4th, by the way. Keep that in mind. Force
We're
class
still at the
update. Force class update is also going to be here, including, they made it very specific to mention an additional class skill. We're adding a rod only skill that increases technique potency. Hopefully increases it to a point where you're only using rod. You want to use rods for techniques to cast. It becomes the strongest caster again, as it should have been from the very start. Not
It
jet
really
boots.
should have.
Because right now,
wait, it was jet boots?
jet boots cast techs better than rods and everything else. So
No way. I don't know why. I thought it was like Tector or something. I thought it was like Wand.
no, unless, I mean, it could have been something with the Tector update, but to my knowledge, jet boots did the most damage casting techs, which is silly.
That is insane. Also, imagine casting text. Anyway, let's move
Yeah,
on.
you wouldn't do it anyway. New filtering arts and techniques that can be modified with tech arts customizations incoming. So we saw a couple of different things there. They showed off like homing darts. They showed off a couple other things. So pretty cool stuff there. We'll have to see how that works out. Our new cards being added into Line Strike. These seem to be favoring more of the, or buffing single element decks. So they keep sort of shifting the meta on Line Strike, which is kind of cool. For those who actually really enjoy Line Strike and, of course, you know, fun Line Strike things. That's pretty much it for that overall. They're also adding in other improvements in various things as well. Things like making it, instead of 5, it's going to go to 10 enhancement items for materials whenever you're trying to upgrade things. I don't know if that means it's going to use up 2 of the bonus items. That's usually the reason why they're like, oh, you can't add them in indefinitely, because you have bonus items that increase the percentages, and that's usually why they do that.
I
But
didn't think about that.
I've always said
I
they could
really
just,
hope not. It's only 10. Like I don't think it's a big enough increase that they should.
it doesn't make a
quite
difference.
honest.
Just make it cost 2. Like if it's past 6, make it cost 2. If it's past 11, make it cost 3. If it's past 30, you can just make it cost more. Very simple.
Yeah.
They're also finally adding in the thing for EX augments, where if you just put a question mark at the end, it counts for like the final the suffix for it. So you're able to search EX augments much easier in the personal shop. However, this won't apply to items that are already up on the shop. So we're free to play. If you already have things that are up, you need to relist them for them to be counted, to be able to be searched for in this way. So you definitely want to relist them. If you plan on listing anything, hold off until after the 4th.
Yeah, I was gonna say after the update. Make sure you wait until after the update, and then relist those items so they do come up in the search.
And we have new build parts, creative space build part stuff. I again personally would prefer them to be able to allow us to put up our own weapons like we were in the past, but it looks like
I mean,
they're
I
going the
would
route
too,
of this
but
instead.
yeah,
Is what
honestly, if it's this or nothing, I would much rather just let them keep giving us weapon series as build parts. But yeah, hopefully that's the next step at some point.
We'll see how things go. But Melty Blood collab, big TLDR. Neko Arc is going to be a mag, as well as having 3 new outfits and 3 new camos from the characters shown on screen at the moment. And they'll be bringing back the previous stuff from the previous Melty Blood collab, like we basically figured they would. that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy there. You can see. Oh, the other big thing was that there are line strike cards included. However, these line strike cards are essentially just carbon copies of what other line strike cards already do. So they're not like specific cards that, oh, you have to get this card or you're going to miss out on some damage or some like sort of meta or whatever. They are effectively just like
almost like a skin.
Yeah, like a skin
in a sense.
For the card itself. So you're not missing out on anything if you don't pick up these cards.
Yeah, which was like one of the things we were really worried about was that like maybe having cards and that would bring a pay to win aspect, but no, it's the same cards that you can normally get. It's just Melty Blood characters instead.
Yep. We also have the Christmas decorations. They talked about the Genesis Festival again. I'm not sure why they all call everything is Genesis Festival. Basically, it's not even a Christmas event anymore. But I'm
not opposed to that.
Basically, right? So they show off the wrappies. They talk about the limited shop coming back. They even mentioned that the limited shop including things you exchange for grinders, which is interesting. Hard to get items apparently exchanged for grinders. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. How many there's going to be, what those items are going to be, I have no idea. So we'll have to see how that works out.
And is it going to be like do you know, like, well, not do you know, but how sometimes they have the not really a secret shop, but kind of the secret shop. You know
No, that's what I'm assuming. It's either the secret shop situation again,
or it's just going to be a second shop or something.
Right.
That's available from the start. Yeah.
The 10th, they're going to be doing a solo version of the LTQ we got on the 4th, essentially. So you have the chance to go for the solo variant of it. Probably similar rewards. I imagine it's not going to be any better or worse. Usually they aren't. If it is, they'll surprise us. But you have weapon camos that they show off, the ones that are here at the bottom. Hopefully they include every weapon. I mean, I've been told they include every weapon, but I don't trust it. So we'll see how it goes.
That's fair.
Mission pass stuff. Nothing really exciting here, in my opinion. I mean, there's the creative space build parts that are being brought back from base PSO2. Retro parts, those are likely going to cost SG, so good luck with that.
So my thing is, I think the answer is obviously not, but I think these are just included in the same slide. But are these creative space parts going to be a part of the mission pass? Because they do adjust things that are on the mission pass every once in a while. And it's kind of weird that they included that in this slide. I just assume since they're base game stuff, they're going to be bought with SG. But it is like, I don't know. It's a different little marker on the thing, so I don't think so. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's SG. Like it's new mission pass and more. They just wanted to slam them together, is my guess.
Yeah.
If it is in the mission pass, that's dope. But I don't.
That would be sick.
I don't think that's the case. 2 special scratch tickets. So we have the makeup revival that's coming up, and a revival AC scratch ticket, and NGS spec eyes. Blah blah blah. Okay, cool. And then the SG support item select. As is always the case, a new weapon, a new armor, a new upgrade. SG support's coming back. AC support will likely be coming back, and they'll announce it likely in the next headline. So when you see it, you'll know why it's there. The only takeaway from here was that Giga Trial S is here. Probably should have been High Steer Domina, in my opinion. Just because think so too. There's no way to currently farm Giga Trial S or Giga Trial. So that is going to come off a bit of a sting. But it is also SG support, which means it's not like real money cost. Technically, it is in-game currency. It's the freemium currency. So there is that as one side of things. However, it still should be.
They're giving us SG. They're giving us SG. They're lowering the costs to get the weekly SG with cube. So I think it might even out, but
I think that's more timing than anything else.
Yeah.
But it should still be farmable. And it likely might be farmable in new content. We just don't know for sure yet. So they haven't mentioned it. Haven't said anything that's coming up. It might be in the it could be in the that special shop we talked about. It could also be
exactly
a part of the LTQs.
Maybe in there. Maybe we can get them for grinders. They never tell us every single reward we're gonna get, so who knows?
Yep. And that was the first half. So we have a new urgent quest coming up: co-op Starless Suppression Op. Take down Valiant Axe and Valiant Wand simultaneously, or they revive after a set time. So that's super funny. You can't just burn one down and then burn the other one down. You have to kill them simultaneously, meaning they're probably likely going to be crossing over attacks a lot. Having one person take one off to the side while everyone dogpiles the other one's not going to work in this situation. So, yikes.
Unless that one person can like handle their shit.
I mean, one person.
Well, no, they'd have to keep aggro the entire time, and
I mean, they likely could. Is the problem I would have here is that as strong as people can be in NGS, I don't think one person's going to out DPS 7.
No, hell no.
In most situations, depending upon how. I mean, unless you just get 7 absolute sandbags, I can see it happening. But
Yeah, there's no real like hard carry, so that is going to be a bit difficult.
it's going to be interesting to see. People kill them at the same time, and I foresee a lot of like enemies stacked on top of each other, people getting hit from off screen. It's going to be really funny.
Yo, pug runs are going to be wild.
Yep. And Treasure Scratch 6 will be out on the around this time. Oh no, it's on the 22nd.
Woo!
With that, you'll also get these scratch tickets whenever you complete a quest. It does not say urgent quest, it says quest. So I see how that works out. Keep in mind also, we mentioned earlier that urgent quests are going to be cross-ship. So finally, as they should have been.
Cross-ship. Yeah, we've been asking for that for a while. I'm glad they finally gave that to us.
Yep. All right, next up we have the Saint Great Rappy Suppression. Now, what they've talked about here is the King Captain showing up whenever Saint Great Rappy's HP gets low, and the fact that he's going to be dropping reactors. I don't remember if they said alpha reactors. I heard specifically reactors, and they said 70k off of reactors. Not to tell me if there's a new type of reactor that sells for 70k, or you get 20 reactors that you sell and you get 70k for it. We also don't know how fast this boss dies. We also don't know how overall any of this deals. Like we don't know how any of this works. So it depends realistically on how quickly you can kill a boss, how much money you make off of it. It could be the new farming quest to do for Meseta. So
or possibly King Captain might drop more since you have the option to spawn a King Captain or regular Captain. Who knows?
The big thing here is it gives a mechanic to it gives an outlet to players who don't like to just sit there and farm deck space or whatever for money. You can just go kill this Rappy over and over again. Maybe you make less, I don't know, but it's still money overall. So hey,
you can go run around Nameless and look at a new pretty snowy environment and kill big fat Rappy.
Exactly. So new equipment as well. New 12 stars are being added into the game. The big thing here, I actually need to have them talk about it because I'm gonna let this one play because we missed some information here. Okay, so it's not here. Actually, go ahead and pause it. It's in the operation report. It was either here or in the operation report. I can't remember exactly where it is they talk about it, so we'll have to grab it from the operation report. It's still really good information. So we've got new 12-star units that are coming out, or 12-star weapons that are coming out. Those weapons are acquired in Nameless and the Urgent Quest and things like that. They show 3 of the 4 new EX augments. We did miss one of them. I might go back and pull it up for us. But of the 3 that we saw here, we have EX Evade HP Gain, which it is still the 4.5% potency, so those aren't power creeping or anything like that. 2% potency floor, and EX Evade HP Gain. Recover 1% of max HP when you successfully negate an attack with a sidestep or weapon action. So whenever you sidestep or block something, you get back HP. So that's pretty cool. Maintain balance. So maintain balance, the way that one works out is take 10% of your HP as damage whenever you land an attack while your HP is at 50% or higher every 0.1 second. So basically you just chunk your own HP down, or recover 1% of your HP when you land an attack while your HP is at 48% or lower every 0.5 seconds. So you can chunk your HP down quickly down to basically sub 50%. Basically you'll be in the 49% bracket, which is the exact spot you want to be in for shortage HP to work. So this is going to go really, really well with shortage HP, basically going to force proc shortage HP for you. But that also means that shortage HP kind of really, really wants maintain balance. You can't use it as kind of like an extra add-on damage with something else. So we'll have to see how the combinations work out. There's also EX Turnover. EX Turnover gives you, it looks like it's a 4, actually this might be one of the new strongest ones. It's 4.25% potency, HP recovery 10%. Wait, hold on. EX Turnover H. It has an extra effect. HP recovery plus 10%, potency plus 1.5% for 20 seconds when you recover HP. So EX Turnover plus either evade or maintain balance could be pretty good, considering if you're below, your 50%, you heal at all once every 20 seconds, you have a bonus, you have an increase in bonus damage, which is pretty wild.
So it's only recovering HP, not just using a rest assign.
Well, technically that's also recovering HP.
Yeah, but what if your HP's maxed?
If that probably wouldn't work.
You can't just spam rest assign. Yeah,
that probably wouldn't work unless it's essentially the same effect that you had in Lucille. Where Lucille, when you
that's
used
what I was kind of thinking.
a rest
but I
assign
think that
to
one was specifically it said specifically using rest assign.
Yeah. I'm going to roll the video back for a second. If you want to maintain that spot, I'm going to see what the other EX augments were.
Okay.
That they showed. So maintain balance. Okay, well. Oh, hang on. What's this? Oh, yeah. EX bring down PB boost. Interesting. So potency versus downed enemies plus 2%. Starts 10 seconds after equipped. PB gauge fills 6% when you down nearby enemies. So it has 2 effects. Its potency is 2.5% potency and potency flora, so it's equal to 2.5% like bracket size. So it's not like a conditional where you lose out on damage. You get increased damage, increased potency against enemies that are downed. Wait, that might be really strong because that means that you get an extra 2%. That's 6.5 against down targets. This might be like the go-to like third option in this situation. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty insane. So that could be really strong. That could be very, very strong. So yeah, maintain balance. Yeah, okay. So those are the 4 that they showed off. That's pretty dope. Oh yeah, so that the weapons themselves. So that's pretty dope.
The weapons, I will say the only thing I'm a little sad about is I actually, well, I mean, this doesn't mean the Tricelio is just like completely null and void, right? I don't know what's gonna happen with that.
We're
But
gonna
I
look at that in a
actually
second.
enjoy having a good looking weapon. I feel like every time we get new weapons, they're so ugly, and these are so fucking ugly. All right,
Yeah,
anyway.
they're way the Tricelios look way
Tricelio, I
better.
haven't used the camo since I upgraded to Tricelio. I love the way it looks, and these are just so ugly.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
We have the next AC Scratch Winter Campus Fashion, which is another school scratch. Lovely.
I'm going to school, but the EX motion is really cool, and
EX motion is Dark Soldier. I'm gonna ruin this for some people. They're gonna be like, "Oh, awesome, a sword." That is a wand, actually.
Why? Yeah, he told me that. I'm upset. Actually, I was like, "Oh, that's a cool sword."
It's a so all those weapons that look like that, the regular variant, like the purple variant one, they're called Nox weapons. They're weapons from base PSO2. That is the wand. Looks like a sword though, so that's cool. And you motion with it like a sword, so you can just think about it like it's a sword, but it's a wand.
Yeah, it could be a sword in your hearts and minds. Just don't think about it.
Exactly.
Don't discover the truth.
Emote weapon pose 9 and 10 are here. We have katana and we have rod, so that's super freaking cool. The idol, we have rest arms on chest along with glide holiday sleigh. Skulls will be covering that for you guys, so whenever that comes around.
Also, I will say that kimono on the far right is right up my alley. I'm not really a fan of much of the fashion and the scratches other than some of the accessories that they showed in the detailed look, which of course we're going to look at that when it comes out. But that kimono, ooh, sheesh. All right.
So we're at the operation report. The operation report is where they talked about the weapon, so we're going to let the operation report play so we can hear about the weapon. We missed it last time. Something about this weapon versus Tricelio they kind of mentioned, so we're gonna get that here.
The 12 series will be the first 12-star weapons released, making it easy for ARCs to see that these weapons have superior performance compared to the 11-star Tricelio series weapons. In addition to top-class attack performance, this new rarity also has a potential that provides a support effect to you and your allies when an enemy in the area is downed. This should give these weapons a long life in party play, even when new weapons and upgrades to current weapons are released.
All right, I think we got what we needed from that. I'm gonna go ahead and pause there.
What were you trying to get?
So it was the comparison to the Tricelios letting us know what the actual damage or what their intention is, because usually they kind of talk about it a little bit, and they just flat out said superior. So that is a bit of an L. That does mean that is straight power creeping.
No, that really sucks. Like I'm never like, oh, we get a weapon upgrade too quick, but that is way too quick. We just upgraded to Tricelio.
So this is the problem with the style of 12. This is the problem with the style of upgrade that Tricelio brought. And this was the issue that I was concerned about originally when these were starting to happen, which is, yes, we have more upgrades that are going to give us, you know, a bigger jump in power, so on and so forth, right? Like we have more upgrades, so on, like all that stuff, whatever. But because they're spread out so much, we've gone through the upgrade process twice now over the course of 3 months, essentially. And now the next month we have a new weapon.
We have a whole new weapon.
Which if it had been at the very beginning of just the weapon itself, it would have been, we had this weapon for 6 months and then we would have had a new weapon.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
The thing is, like, it's I don't know. Does that mean like we're not getting any increases to our evolving weapon? Is it just done now, or
We don't know for certain. They didn't mention
yeah,
if it's
like
going to
that? I
be.
think that uncertainty makes it worse because it's one thing if we're like, yeah, we're going to get an upgrade to our evolving weapon, so you can upgrade to this, or wait until the next one. But like now, I'm like, would it be stupid not to upgrade to this, or
So what this is going to create concern for players now that they don't want to upgrade their gear. They're not going to want to
yep,
upgrade their
and we
weapons.
just got
And
past
we
that. We
just got
just
over
got
that.
past that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, people had that concern up until like Wingard. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, and even Wingard, people kind of like psych themselves out with that concern a lot. I felt like, and then like now everyone's like, oh, okay, it's fine, we can upgrade because we have our evolving weapon. And then they're like, here's a brand new weapon that's better, superior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That and
well, we just worked on our evolving weapons, like, the
so
grind isn't too crazy, but not everyone has that much time to, like, commit, so I don't know.
the problem is basically these weapons, the way they're being introduced, and this is kind of like my thought process on it, is it's coming in like Exleo did. This is basically going to be
Yeah,
the start of the next set, and
yeah,
that's way too soon. And
yeah,
the upgrades being as often as they weren't an issue. That's fine, but like this is like a whole new weapon. Unless you're allowing people to just easily transition into that new weapon itself, or you're making it really, really cheap for them to do so. Like weapons are not cheap. Weapons are expensive. People put a lot of money into like these weapons. Like I've made 2 of them. Like I'm gonna make the new weapon. Yeah, sure, that's fine. But like that's gonna burn for some people
yeah.
like really hard.
Someone said, "Okay," but they said current weapons are still going to get upgrades, so
Yeah, but when and how much, and then why would you bother with a new weapon? So this is what you create. You create uncertainty.
yeah, see
You
that, and that's the
this
thing,
this
like,
back and
I
forth is
didn't feel
unnecessary.
uncertain about it, and I was like, "Okay," and I feel like if they didn't say that, I would've been like, "Alright, well, I know my new weapon the weapon I currently have is going to
Hmm.
be there or better at some point," but, like, who knows? Like, I don't know, I don't I feel like maybe, like, now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, if they're smart about it, then, like, this yes is better for now, and then, like, our evolving weapon's going to be a bit better next time, but then it's like, you do kinda, like,
See, the problem
question
is that
why would you upgrade to that then?
it's not, because they literally just said these are superior and they're going to be good for a long time.
Oh, I missed the second part of that.
They mentioned
Whoop.
specifically that this, comparatively to 11 stars, being a 12 star, has superior attack and is going to be powerful for a long
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah, that
to
needs some
me, it
more
just sounds like
clarification.
Exilio again, um, which starts the whole cycle over again. Which, I mean, again, is not as bad. It's going to be fairly simple. It's going to be fairly easy to go to. And having EX augments means it's way easier to make weapons. Like it's super cheap to make weapons these days.
Yeah.
Overall, instead of having to augment. If the only problem now is people are going to wonder like when's units coming around.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Cause
when is that
yeah.
happening?
We I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. That's
Mhm.
basically it.
It's, I mean, it could be fine. It could be like we have a bunch of stuff, so it's super easy to make weapons, and now they want you in a situation where you're making weapons more often, like you're making more than one weapon, you have multiple weapons and things like that. But
Yeah.
because like that's
Since
what it
this one
felt
is
like.
like for a very specific like need
Yeah,
as
like
far as it. And they did mention like wanting to do that with other weapons, like having like reasons to use them otherwise
mhm.
for their like potential and things like that.
Like I know I just made 2 weapons. I technically have made 3 overall, but like think of people like Katie. Katie made freaking 12, 8 weapons or something like that.
I think it's 8,
They
yeah.
just made 8 weapons.
Yep.
Like it's wild how that's gonna work out. We'll have to see how it. But this is gonna cause uncertainty. You're gonna see people say the
Yeah.
upgrades aren't worth it. You're gonna see people saying that they're not gonna do these sort of things again, and that's by creation. Unfortunately, that they did this. Um,
Yeah. I
that
hope
was
that's not the case though. I really do hope it's like a okay, this kind of fills the need for this specific thing and then
yeah.
yeah.
These weapons are a vehicle to deliver the new EX augments. That's what they are. They are going to be like, I mean, if you look at where they drop from Nameless and they drop from the Urgent Quest, meaning that they're going to drop the same way that Exleos dropped, and or I'm sorry, they're going to drop the same way that Eridims dropped, and they're going to be the way that you deliver those weapons. That's how they're gonna work out. So we'll see
I
how
mean,
it
we do
works.
get them from Nameless, so
Hmm.
yeah.
It
We'll
depends
see.
on
We'll see.
how it depends on how often they drop. That's a big part of it too.
Yeah. They might drop like candy if they drop from Nameless, who knows?
That's the problem, is that's a bad thing. If they drop like candy, they're super easy to get. Then like rip Tricelio, like rip Tricelio hard, because the only thing it has going for it right now is high fixa levels, which
Yeah. I
next
mean,
star level
maybe
doesn't always mean
or
stronger, but like
Yeah, I mean,
It's
they just
seeming
said it did.
it's seeming like it's gonna be that way, but we'll wait till we
Yeah,
get the
it
math and
might
see
be
how
a
it
good
works
thing
out.
if it drops often because it might also, like, relieve that stress of feeling like, "Ah, I gotta, like, get this and it's unattainable and it's the next big thing I need."
Mm,
You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess it all depends on perspective, I
As
guess, unless we get
as
actual answers.
as long as weapons require upgrading to plus 90 or plus 80 or whatever and augmenting, it's always going to be a concern whenever a new weapon comes out. Like as long as those things are requirements, it's always going to be like, I have to invest money, I have to invest time, I have to invest augments, I have to do this, that, and the other. If it was just you get the weapon as a drop and you equip it, it'd be one thing, but it's not really the case. So unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. This is not one of those like hyper excited moments. This is one of those like not really doomer, but like also not really like on board.
Yeah.
You know what I just
I'm not
noticed?
thinking doomer energy for this. I'm just kinda like, "Hey,
You know what I
we'll
just
see.
noticed?
What's up?"
I don't think these weapons are actually the vehicles to deliver EX augments because they show all the new EX augments on Eridims.
Oh, you're right. You're
So
right. Not like wait,
these
okay,
are
have they
straight up
shown
Exilios. These are just straight up Exilios essentially.
Yeah. Yep, those are all on Aaron. Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just straight up
Wow.
Exilios. So
We'll see, I guess. I don't know as much about weapon stuff as you do, but
we'll have to see how this works out.
yeah.
But I mean, they also just announced Super Genesis Festival, a bunch of free rewards, a bunch of like they talk about money grinding quests and things of that sort, and bringing back a lot of things that we're used to from base PSO2. So with all of those things said, this could just be maintaining or matching that, but we'll have to see when it actually drops. This could definitely be a like. This could have been a super hype moment, but now it's like, now we got to find out, right? Like we're a little concerned.
Could always be wording too.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes the wording really does fuck things up in headlines.
Yeah, I'm sure my JP friends will jump over and say, "Hey, look, actually, it works out like this. This is just translated funny." And the last thing was that the Grain Saint or the Saint Great Rappy Suppression was dropping money. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty happy about that one. They're like, you literally kill it and it just gives you money.
Yep. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna think the worst though.
Yeah, I mean, it could be good, it could be bad. We'll have to find out. Also, it's freaking Dark Tyrants, Falz Vile, and Masquerade, Ruin Masquerade. Super cool to see those guys come back. Or see Masquerade come back and see Vile show up in the story finally. I'll see how he works out, but good stuff there. I'm excited to fight those bosses when they come around. We also have the next headline going to bring us the roadmap for future.
Yeah.
And we also got confirmed that the story is going to be included. And,
Yes, it's gonna be a
looks like
little
January.
after we get the next big fight, but we're getting it to connect us to the next big fight, which I am so excited for because that fight looks amazing.
Yeah, it could be
Yep.
the new Lotto weapon. It comes off as being a Lotto weapon possibly. And if it is and it's stronger, it's going to depend on how much stronger it actually is. And if it is substantially stronger, well, I mean, technically that, I hate to say it, best case scenario, it's a Lotto weapon.
Yeah.
And if it's a Lotto weapon, it gives people something to chase. It effectively needs to be a chase weapon. That's what the new weapon needs to be for it not to be
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. I know it's frustrating because like we all want to get it, but like that's fine. I don't mind it being like a difficult weapon to get, but it is like significantly stronger.
Yeah. Okay.
But if
So
it's like, yeah,
apparently what I missed in the slide, I'm going to go ahead and play really quick so you guys can see it. Where is it?
sent to both. Okay. Thank you, Ellie.
I mean, we kind of saw these beforehand, but the background shows the Ark's fleet ships out in space. So we might be on a floating platform. This might be what we're doing out in space. This might be what's going on here.
Am I missing it? Or oh, it's in the screenshot section. I see.
Yeah, it's in the screenshot section. Basically, in the background, you can see arc ships, which again I've mentioned beforehand. Like we couldn't see the full outer space when we went up into the arc ship. There's a good chance that we're looking at a bunch of arc ships, like a bunch of the fleet that's up there. Like we're just on one ship out of a bunch of them, and the actual platform, like it looks like where the fight is happening, might be on top of the ships or on top of the ships.
It would make sense in relation to the story.
Yeah.
It would 100% make sense in relation to the story for sure.
Yeah, you can kind of see it right here.
Yeah, because like the particles when you're fighting up there, most of the time when we've had these like fights, it's always in some like weird little pocket dimension looking thing. In so yeah, but yeah, I see.
All right, well, that's pretty much everything we had here. Other than that, it was just answering some operation reports questions, which I mean, they weren't all that important. The only one that I could say was
pretty simple.
Was important was they told us the next two classes that will be receiving their expansions, which will be Hunter and then Braver. So I've said this before, I'll say it again. I know everyone's like, oh, but tell me when my class is going to be updated. When does it happen? When is it happening? A class has to be last. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let every class, get through every class.
At least one class has to be last, and it's going to be Waker.
If it even gets to Waker or Slayer in the first place, like if they even go that far in the first place, because Waker did come. Well, I guess technically Waker could also use a couple of things, but
Slayer got the golden child treatment.
Yeah, for sure. So give it time. We'll have to see how it works for the new weapons and everything else.
Also, they did answer a question. I don't know if any of you guys had this question. I personally didn't with the creative space, but they answered if you could have a teleporter with multiple destination options, and they said basically it would just kind of, long story short, bug things out.
The TLDR was no. They tried it and didn't work.
Yeah. Which, I mean, realistically, I don't think you need it. You can probably rig something very similar if you get really creative. We can have 20 local teleporters if you have like the one of the I forgot, it was a collab teleporter. But if you have the regular ones, you can have 10, and then of course you can have the ones for different spaces. So I think that's plenty personally, but I know a lot of people like to make hubs and things like that. So it's unfortunate, but I'm sure we can figure out something if you get creative.
TLDR is they're not able to do it. We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, they just wanted to clarify that, but I didn't know if anyone specifically had that question because I've never heard that pop up, but thought I'd mention.
They also announced the next collab being Frieren. So people are excited about that. That tells me is no type 1 fashion at all. So there's that.
Probably not. Not at all.
And
you guys
Christmas
get the type
themed,
2 fashion in type 1.
Yep, and Christmas themed shirts and hoodies on the merch shop. So that is another thing they're adding in. Pretty cool there. The merch shop's kind of weird to find, by the way, guys. I'm going to show you guys how to find it later. You have to like search a very specific keyword. Feels like some cryptic YouTube stuff, but whatever. And then the final thing was the headline is going to be on December 26th. So the day after Christmas, we have the next headline. So that's pretty much it. This analysis is going to be a little bit of a longer one, unfortunately. It's just kind of the way it goes. We have two people going through things like this.
His wife likes to yap.
It is what it is. So future ones will be probably shorter, but he also gives extra context for those of you guys who wanted that analysis of the headline itself. But he gets some really good stuff. It wasn't copium. It wasn't hopium. I would say, like, for me, it was really close to an 8 out of 10. And then we saw the new weapons so quickly. And because we don't know about how the new weapons, I have to give a point off. Best case scenario, it's a lot of weapon. Best case.
I still give it an 8. I think the cross ship stuff like carried a lot for me.
Yeah, cross ship.
That like gave a big bump in the score because that's a lot of things I want to do. Like, I want to do UQs with you, and I want to do some of those other like difficult quest types with you. Like we've talked about doing that so many times, and just having that there is good. It's great. Like, yeah. I'm really happy about that. I think just that alone would make me score it an 8. So everything else is kind of like a bonus. The weapon thing kind of rubs me the wrong way personally, but I think it's just because I'm a little salty because technically I'm not done with my weapon. But I mean, we have augment transfer, so I can't really be salty about that part, right?
The biggest thing is transfer pass vouchers need to become a little bit faster if they're going to be having weapons like this come out faster. The next concern now is units. Whenever units are going to be popping up, keeping up with units and things like that. Afterwards,
they've been really slow on units though, so I don't know.
The thing is, units have been upgrading just alongside weapons.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we have had the upgrades with it. Yeah,
that's
you're right.
That's going to be a concern that's going to exist as far as these processes go. So, like, I definitely in this situation normally I'd be like, guys, you're being a little overreacting, like reacts. I'm with you guys in this situation where I think weapon came a little fast. The only way this is
Yeah.
like, this is legitimately a good thing is if it is a lot of weapon. And it's very
Yep.
rare that I'm going to say a lot of weapons what we need in this situation. A chase weapon is actually not a bad thing, just because one, it's going to be worth something for you guys to buy. And two, it's not going to be incentivized for you to have over what you already have right now.
Yeah.
It's going to depend on how things go. It is the first 12 star. So like, that's cool. But
Yep.
we'll have to see how things play out.
Yeah. Ultimately, we're not gonna know until we get these updates, and then we can as Chrono can update you guys on that.
Yeah,
And I'll just repeat what he says like a parrot.
as we always do, we'll go over the power. We'll look at how it scales up
Mhm.
comparatively to the other weapons. We'll look at how far you need to go into fixes and things of that sort to find out if it's really going to be something that's going to replace the weapons you're going after, or if it's going to be something that you can feasibly ignore as a casual player, something along those lines. My guess is that it's going to be like the chase, and then like these weapons are going to be like the casual friendly weapons that you can kind of stick around with. What I'd like to see personally, though, is that these weapons are so much of a chase that high fixes are an insane rarity, and good luck getting a hold of them. That way you want to stick to the other stuff and high fixes on your current weapons instead. But that's a lot to ask for. Either way, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. It's been long enough as it is. If you watch all the way to the end, you're awesome. I love your faces. You're fantastic individuals, and I will see you all next time. Feel free to say bye to peoples, my dear.
Bye,
That
peoples.
Yep, that's yeah, we'll see. Force update. Hopefully forces do damage. I love you guys. Hopefully you guys do damage now. Goodbye.